Um, Not much news on the passing show. We have a war going on with Iran, Israel, and the United States having launched attacks. Attacks are coming back to many of the Gulf states and the bases the United States maintains. So Dubai's been hit. I've seen Tel Aviv took a shot about 3:40 this afternoon, our time in the East Coast, and it goes on. It's said that the supreme leader in Iran has been killed in the initial strikes. And, this is, again, sort of an unprecedented situation. We collectively are responsible for the worlds we live in. And the things that are happening. Got some people going to go clubbing at Rosa Marino d'Italia, apparently. Hanging outside. Let me tell you. And see what folks inside there. Got folks going into Taj Chef. Nice weather, so the windows are open. Crybaby piercings on the first floor. That's new. Tattoos and piercings. Established 2021. Okay. Well, it's new to here anyway. Coming home by the nail shop. And don't chest out. A wide range of human beings here in the passing show's lens. Not a lot of other things. We've got the moon hanging, getting fuller. Understand we're going to have a new moon for Purim. And yeah, I don't know. Just know how things seem to me. I walk along a little confused about what other people are getting up to, how they pass their time. Every decision we make, of course, puts us where we are. If you're along for the ride, plein air poetry included, good to have you. Yeah, it's a little who, what, when, and where. A little raw journalism this evening. We're in Washington, D.C., of how life is just going on, even though the United States has decided to engage in warfare without congressional approval. That's not supposed to be the way it works. But it seems our executive branch doesn't feel like they need to have the War Powers Act in force. You've got a number of Congress people, of course, lining up on the side of warfare. I think that war is a crime against humanity. It is always better to negotiate. And if they felt like the negotiations weren't getting anywhere, negotiate better. One thing's for sure, a lot of innocents are losing their lives. And a lot of destruction's happening, and a lot of terrible mayhem is being generated, chaos. And here on the passing show, we are not averse to chaos, but we are more interested in kindness, consideration towards each other. Love is the answer, we believe, not war. War is definitely not the answer. A lot of folks walking down. Repeatedly made my recommendations. But words are wasted. It's actions that count, folks. Be the change you want to see in the world. Remember, every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world that we are co creating. Together, we are responsible for everything that's happening here. We're supposed to have a prefrontal cortex that helps us with decision making. Most people, I don't think, are all that awake and aware of the broader world around them beyond the immediate here and now. And I take this way, the road less traveled. I get a little extra time, so I might as well. Not interested in passing through such huge crowds. I don't know, maybe I'd go this way. It's going to seem to be well stocked. I'm going to be walking in front of Kramer Books, one of our better independent bookstores, very shortly. It's often the place that the passing show screams. And see what they got. Skylark, Paula McLean, Dandelion is Dead by Rosie Story. There's a couple of the novels, a couple of the fiction works are out there. And there we got to look at the books of nonfiction I think are important. Goliath's Curse. That looks like an interesting one. So many things. I want to look into the works of Martin Torgoff. I was talking a little bit with Keith Guard about that on the Passing Show's Harrowings podcast. And it was an interesting one. Martin Torgoff did the interviews with the members of Aerosmith for the Making of Pump documentary produced by Keith. And thought it was really good, really, I'm pretty sure I could understand what I was seeing there when I was watching that documentary. But Martin's done a lot of other work. And it's good to see. Look at this. Got the denizens of DuPont Circle Park. Finding my way around here. We've got a few people playing music, sounds like. Somewhere a keyboardist on or something. So I don't see the source. And speakers over there. A saxophone player. Maybe it's just the speakers providing the music. Chess players over there. I don't know. We keep on walking. Got a couple of rings hanging from the tree there. Exercise, yeah. Have a series of speakers, nobody manning them. Very interesting. Foothill.
Thank you. Take care. Want a poster? Bring them up now.
And that sax player must be part of that speaker set. Yeah.
Hey.
Very interesting. Brilliant. Piping music into the park. It's always nice to have a soundtrack to the passing show. It's like Marty D. Snow has joined as well. That's 6 of us, in addition to me, your host, Hal Gill. filming live the passing shows. So I usually go down the other side of the street. I think I might go down this side instead today. Go road less traveled. That jetliner going across the sky there. I can make it. I always have to watch my step here. Don't want to get tripped up. We are such brief flashes on the surface of eternity. Human beings are. Like us all to remember that we are all here now. Pick up some new skills and be good ancestors while we're at it. That's my aim. That's what we're doing here on the Passing Show. Harrowings being the publishing arm of the Harold B. Gill Foundation that protects and preserves the legacy of Harold B. Gill's, the three of us. I'm the sole survivor. My grandfather, born January 16th, 1907. My father, January 16th, 1933, and onward. I was born February 4th, 1963, and have just crossed the 63rd spin around the sun. And I was doing a little calculation with the help of the computers that are available, figure out how fast we're moving, even if we're standing still. And it turns out we're moving somewhere over 200 miles a second across the background radiation, accompanied by the moon. You can see hanging in the sky there. That's something to think about. Apparently, we're going to be sending some folks up and around the moon not too long from now. They'll be the furthest humans from here since like 1973. I think, if I remember right, that's when we sent Apollo 17 up. I don't remember who was in the command module as our Gene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt hit the ground or at the moon's surface. But they had a fellow orbiting. Was it Tom Stafford? I don't recall. Might have been. I'll have to look it up. Somehow that rings a bell. Chipotle. Folks hanging outside Chick-fil-A as well. I'm heading over to the Hamilton Live, as mentioned. And if all goes well, I'll arrive there not too long from now. It's very busy out here. I guess because the weather's nice. I bundled myself up pretty tight. Insulated. See the illumination of a hotel down the block there. In the street. I was married down there on May 3rd, 2008 to Lynn, my wife. Now nearly 18 years. Coming up on May 3rd. Pretty excited about that. Yeah. That's the best thing I find is to have a partner in life you can depend on. And it lets you do fun things like go out and see your vocal coach fronting Psycho Killers, the Talking Heads cover band, which will be performing tonight at the Hamilton Live. So that's what's happening. What's happening with you guys? Still Waters, but Richard Clare is here. Marty D. Snow was mentioned. Richard Hogan, MD, PhD, twice over, and Doctor of Business Administration, is with us. It's all good. And this is the Passing Show. And the first day of the war with Iran. I'm not too pleased, but This is something that we've been building up to, and I hope we have the stomach for it and the consequences, many of which will be unintended. What a fuck! It's just the way it goes. So you get a look at who, what, when, and where here. The population doing the things the population does as it moves collectively from dawn to dusk and back again. I'm going to take this side, I think. We are. Period. We are here now on this little planet, making our way from dawn to dusk and back again. Dusk is hitting hard here. Sun is falling. It's supposed to get down to about 40 tonight, so I'm kind of dressed a little heavier than necessary for the current weather, but I find it cozy. And what else do I want to tell you all about? I don't know. It is what it is. Wearing my American Beauty denim jacket, classic piece of swag. The 50th anniversary of American Beauty, an album by the Grateful Dead, sort of country fried rock. Okay, what are we going to do now? We're going to cross here while we can. Take a look at what's being advertised. Yep. 4, 3, 2, 1. And I go. Your public lands are being sold off. They're trying to make sure we're all aware of the different things that are going on culturally now. Huh. Lots of people. A visual affair. Yeah. Tiny jewel box taking in its things from the window. They sell all kinds of things. Cartier, Patek Philippe, Omega, you name it. There's the Improv across the way. My friend Nicole Benendi was over there not too long back after headlining a sellout crowd at the State Theater in Falls Church. Their stand-up. Really appreciate that. Here we have Darvish by Masude. Always something new here in Washington, D.C. There's coming up on the Bender building. Onward. Passing the Mayflower. I'm going to be at the Mayflower not too long from now. Weekend after, next weekend, I think, actually, after this coming, the one we're in. I'll be down here at the Amnesty International Conference as a senior. Haven't been to a national event of amnesty since I was in college, 1985. 41 years ago this spring, piled into a Volkswagen van with much of my fellow students, and off we went, tearing down there to New Orleans. We were sponsored by Charles Haynes, who now works, I believe, for the Freedom Forum, defend the First Amendment. And he's been a really great example to us all. He's part of Mayor Baba's inner circle back in the day, the Baba lovers. And that's where I get that from. You may know that I am a Baba lover from the postings I put up in notes. I'm reminding people of Baba's existence or probably should say his sole existence. He alone exists. We are all manifestations of this one drop souls differentiated out of that whole, and back into the ocean of bliss we shall go. I call it the pleroma, using the terminology adopted from the Greek for the fullness and the emptiness. For everything is nothing and nothing is everything. Nothing matters a great deal. Nothing works just fine. When all is said and done, nothing will remain. And a lot more will be said than done. But actions are what matters. Planes going international and other ones flying high overhead. We are always being surrounded by motion on this little pale blue dot hanging out here in the depths of space. I did a little figuring on how far I've traveled, considering I'm moving over 200 miles per second all the time. And it turned out to be about 450 billion miles so far. Somewhere around there. Some moving by skipping, some moving by walking. It's always fun to see what people are up to as we go on the passing show. And it's at 85% power at this point. I think I'll probably wrap it up soon. Catherine, good to see you. Is anyone really paying attention to this? It's likely they are not, and that's fine because it's not for anybody in particular. It's for nobody. And historians of the future, potentially. It's primary documentation. If you did want to pay attention to it, you could. I ask everyone to say, how are you? Where are you? Most often they don't. Most often they just log in and log back out again because it's boring or it's not interesting. Well, I think that it's more of a reflection of how we are than how it is. I find fascination in anything. I find this fascinating. Assemblywoman Deborah Mozzarella has joined us as well. I always like to ask how people are and where they are. When they pop in, they may not be interested in the narrative, and that's fine. Not for you, but it could be for you. It could be something you really find fascinating and interesting. And there are those people who follow along, Catherine. If you're still out there, hard to say. Are you? Just put a note in there saying something like, "This is stupid. Don't want to see this anymore," and then I can block you. That's always good. As far as we'll be concerned, then we'll just disappear. Never know each other. Otherwise, you might be doing things like some of my guests do, which is to come on Passing Show's Hair Wings podcast. Did 3 of them yesterday with different people. Had interesting conversations on all kinds of topics, which might actually spark something in somebody else. See, that's the point. If I throw this out there like a shot towards the goal, it might hit. It might help somebody feel a little less alone in this great universe of ours. I feel like they're walking on the moon. And by the way, the moon is right above the building that it's occupied by Jefferson Consulting, probably still is, and the Cochran Law Firm. If you remember Johnny Cochran from the O.J. Simpson trial, it's up there on the same floor as Jefferson Consulting. My dear wife used to work when employed by the then COO, Nan Rinsey, who was a Judge Advocate General of the Navy, 3-star admiral. Nan is retired and gone to be the COO, and then retired from that, went to seminary school. We had breakfast with Nan there in the Army Navy Club at one point. I recall that was some delight. Right down on this end, there's offices that were occupied. I don't know if they still are, by Art Gaspicio, which was a company that I used to serve when I was a contractor with the U.S. Coast Guard, leading the enterprise architecture effort there for Art Gaspicio. Let them go. Not sure they were happy about that, but it is what it is. Life goes on. Coming up on Club Bombay, which is a Indian restaurant in which I've never eaten, but I was invited to join James Cromwell there one time. He was a famous actor. Was it Farmer and Babe? Zeppelin Cochrane and First Contact, Star Trek Next Generation movie. And he was here for the Women's March with my friend Varushka, who was working then on a film with Jamie called A Crack in Everything, really centered on fracking. There's the Bombay Club. And what else should I want to tell you about? I wasn't around to do that. I was where I'm going to be tomorrow, up in Arundel Mills, when I got the message, which was very sweet of Varushka to invite me to join her and meet Jamie and, be a part of it. And said Lynn and I got out of town. Well, I am like a shadow in the periphery. But here I am now, walking by Libby's, which has been closed up and now is for lease. So one thing leads to another. There's an awful lot of businesses that are closed up and are empty. See, that's a second generation restaurant. Papadopoulos is the one to contact if you want to rent that. Over here, have a Toyota Supra yellow, sort of a mustardy yellow. That's kind of cute. And then we're coming up on 8th Street Northwest. Ripple Effect is the name of this Heidi Kozo mirrored stainless steel. That's lovely. Painted my own image on it. See the light reflecting. So, anybody else talking? 816, yeah. Project Blue Book, something unexpected but amazing. Okay. Good. Paul K's joined from Ohio, I think, or Iowa or somewhere. I forget. I don't retain things. Let's see, which way am I going to be going? I'll go over by the Decatur house or crossing here. I don't know. Can't tell. I think I may be going this way. I'm going to give it a shot anyway. Yeah, I got the walk. Thanks for replying, Catherine. 816. Yeah. All right. So, what else am I talking about? Project Blue Book, UFOs. We're over by the White House. The tent's up in the middle here in Lafayette Square. There's a sign that says, "We are making DC safe and beautiful." I don't know if that's safe or not. Fences blocking off the area. It's kind of creepy. Also got some tarps over the monuments, it looks like, maybe. Jackson Monument. Is that covered? Can't really tell. Looks like it. On Steuben Bay. Like Steuben Monument is clear. There's the White House. Somebody's talking about how you raise children. Be a good ancestor, folks.
You get brother.
Yeah, so somebody's got a megaphone over yonder. The government executive ever be, can't really read that one. We keep telling me U.S. safe. Trump hats, $15. What? 15? 3 for 10? Presidents cannot declare war. That's interesting. Seems that it's happened anyway. They got a better view of the White House. Catherine, symbolic of cover up. You like the sculpture? Yeah, it is kind of weird, right? This is St. John's Episcopal, where our presidents tend to worship. Trump did a little Bible holding ceremony over there during the Black Lives Matters protests, clearing the area here on the street, 8th Street, protesters with tear gas. That there was a fire set, which wasn't good. At St. John's. They've done all the repairs necessary, though. Been in this room a while back, the parish house. They're inviting Iran to stop from talking about him raping children. There we go. That's what's happening. Our Polish Revolutionary War hero, Ceausescu, I don't know how to pronounce his name, really. One of these days I'm going to learn it, but his monument is there. We're helped by so many people from so many countries. Of course, Lafayette Square itself that we're looking at, corner of, was originally set up to honor the Marquis de Lafayette from France, who came over and helped us win the American Revolution by taking over the Virginia militia, among other things. My great-great-great-great-grandfather served under him, Jones Gill. My father and I placed a marker at Jones Cemetery. Not sure which grave this is, but we set a stone not far from where he rests. His son is there as well, and there's a marker for him and his wife, Elizabeth Martin. And so definitely have a tie right back to 250 years ago when the American Revolution was being fought. And I'm still here as a descendant. They were good ancestors. So I am breathing. So, Catherine, good to have you here. Not really. Not really what? I don't know what you're responding to, but that's okay. And who are you and where are you and how are you? Let's talk about you. It's not about me. It's about you and about what you might be able to learn from our example here. As you see people coming and going, cars going up and down the street, it's no big deal. There's very few protesters out, just a handful, making their displeasure known, or their pleasure in some cases, because you've got both pleasure and pain, joy and disappointment. It all works together. And then I'm going to go ahead and cross here. I've got 1 second. I can make it. I didn't look up at the moon, getting fuller, rotating, ever rotating. Space for lease. So many spaces for lease. At 15th and 8th Street, right on the corner. They were going to be saying a cheesecake factory. Famous from the Big Bang Theory. Got some piped in music. It's getting easier. At least on the corner. Good music. What is behind you? And in your dreams, whatever they be. There we go. And there we go. We're at the Milken Center for Advancing the American Dream. That's gone in recently. That was Rick's Bank when I first moved here, and then PNC Bank for a spell, and then it became the Milken Center for Advancing the American Dream. Keyboardist, guitarist, looks like a multi-instrumentalist. I don't know how he's doing it, but it looks like he's playing the keyboard while playing the bass. Leave all the wings behind you, but in those dreams, whatever they be, little dream of me. Act as administrator, executive, or trustee, the National Savings and Trust Company. You see the Washington Monument in the distance? Things already known. All right. Yeah, things already known. Well, I don't know. I have no idea. I just film the passing show and watch the patterns evolving, revolving. And I'd like to remind people that every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating. You can see a bit of the White House through there. That's the source of it all. And this, of course, is the Treasury building. Here we have Washington souvenirs. Need directions? Step right inside. Lots of souvenirs. We're coming up on the Old Ebbitt Grill. Nice and woody. Offices above. 20 seconds to cross. And we're not far from our destination, Hamilton Live. I'm going to wrap up the passing show pretty soon because I'm down to 77% power. But Catherine, thank you for being a part of it. Mac Devlin, thank you for joining. Be a part of the world that we're in, and remember that every action has repercussion. Choose wisely, make your decisions kindly, helpfully, and try to be a part of the solution and not the precipitate. And on we go. There's the Hamilton Lives information. Sue Foley's coming March 11th. I might try to see that show. I really like her work. And if you don't know Sue Foley, you can look her up. Yeah, so they don't advertise Psycho Killers tonight, but that's what's happening there this Saturday night. Right. Sonny Triple on lead vocals. She's my vocal coach. I'm doing my diligence and listening to her perform. Hopefully she'll be belting out a good Take Me to the River or two. I don't know. Maybe I can get him to do Slippery People. If I'm lucky, I'll just text her and say, I really want to hear Slippery People. Can they do it? Because there's a lot to Slippery People. W Hotel across the way. Highly historic corner. That's the Willard Center Garage there. It's all peace. All right. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for joining. Good to have you. A little heart for you. And